Hello, Channel Automation podcast listeners. Welcome back to another deep dive into the techniques that convert leads. I'm your host, KC Urias, and today I am joined by marketing manager Sidney Bills from Bath Experts. And we love working with the Bath Experts team, and Sidney's been a huge advocate for automating their marketing and sales process. So welcome, Sidney, and glad to have you on here.
Yeah, hi, Casey. Thanks for having me on. Excited to get started and talk a little bit about Bath Experts and how we're using channel automation.
Yeah, so speaking of which, I mean, you led right into it for me. So tell me a little bit about Bath Experts.
Absolutely. So Bath Experts is a tub and shower wet space renovation company. We specialize in tub to shower conversions primarily, as well as walk-in tubs, but we'll upgrade any tub or shower. If you want your old tub replaced with a new tub, great. Old shower replaced with a new shower, we'll pretty much do anything. The core, I would say, pillars of kind of our brand are luxury, family, and safety. That's really kind of what we focus on. So we are a licensed jacuzzi dealer. We are the jacuzzi dealer for Indiana, Ohio, and Kentucky. We just actually opened our most recent location in Louisville, Kentucky in September, I believe. We have been a company, we've been around since 2019. So we just celebrated our 4-year anniversary, and we have locations in Indianapolis, Cincinnati, Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio, Fort Wayne, Indiana, and now Louisville, Kentucky, as I mentioned. So we're definitely rapidly growing, and we're super excited to be able to be in that space and to help homeowners with their various needs. Like I said, maybe it's a safety need. They want to upgrade for some safety reasons, add some seating and some grab bars, or maybe they just want to give their bathroom an updated, luxurious look that's, potentially more affordable. We just love being able to help everybody just kind of love their bathroom and enjoy their space.
And by the way, for people who are looking at the YouTube version of this and not listening on like Apple Music or Spotify, Sidney just threw all of that out there. She's not even reading a script. That's just all in her head. That's extremely impressive. I don't know if I'd be able to remember all those stats. That's pretty awesome. But
no, thank you. I appreciate that. I was worried a little bit. I was like, am I remembering all the things? But I think I hit the nail on the head with most everything. We're locally owned and operated. Our headquarters is in Indianapolis. That was our first location. And we focus a lot on community give back and philanthropic efforts. So we partner with Baths of the Brave each year, which gives a veteran in need in certain locations a free shower upgrade, basically. So this year we're coming up actually next week on our Baths of the Brave renovations. We actually were able to pick 2 veterans this year, which is very exciting for us. So we're excited for that. And we also donate a portion of all of our sales in our markets to local children's hospitals. So right now we are helping support Riley Children's Hospital, Cincinnati Children's Hospital, and Nationwide Children's Hospital. So hopefully we're going to add some more of those to our roster as we continue to grow. But that's just, a piece about us. We're homegrown, we're local, we love supporting our communities and our employees. And that's kind of why our founders started the company is to do exactly that.
We absolutely love what you guys do at Bath Experts. And also, if you notice, they are super on top of it when it comes to innovating and keeping up with the times. And it's just one of those things where that is in this industry going to be one of the most important aspects of what you got to do. You just got to make sure that you are keeping on top of things. And it's interesting because I remember, I've also familiar with Baths of the Braves and going through all that thing. And I'm sure our listeners are too, because a lot of them are business owners in the same industry. So, yep, we're definitely aware of that whole yearly thing. And it's always a lot of fun. And you get to talk to new people and have new videos posted. It's a lot of fun. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about is our partnership with Bath Experts. And rather than talk about I'm not going to sit here and be channel automation, blah, blah, blah. But I do want to talk about a little bit how new technologies has made you guys grow so rapidly. So what do you notice in terms of a difference when it comes to automation? So what have you been able to cut out?
So we are super excited to be on kind of the cutting edge of some of this. I know there's other programs that exist, and we were approached, or not approached, but we were recommended channel automation earlier in 2023 by a vendor of ours, I believe. And so we started the conversations. And so I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Casey, I think we're part of like the original 25 companies launched with channel automation. So I'm personally really excited about that. I'm really glad that we can kind of jump in on the forefront of this new company, this new technology. Everything that we've been able to do with channel automation so far has kind of filled in the holes that we were missing before. Before channel automation, our CRM software that we had, which we recently moved to a new software, our old software would send out automated text messages based on, if your appointment was set and 2-hour reminders, but it was very clunky. It wasn't customizable. You didn't really have a lot of control over the flows and the systems. I mean, there weren't flows. It was just a very simple turn it on, turn it off kind of a situation. There weren't any graphics enabled or images or anything. And so we actually set out on our channel automation journey. And the reason we initially reached out and invested was because we wanted to be able to do one simple thing, which was send out a sales rep photo with a 2-hour reminder. Lots of companies do that now. It's not anything groundbreaking, but we weren't doing that. And that was something that we really wanted to do, to say, hi, this is me. I'm coming to your home in X amount of time. Happy, excited to see you, right? So that was our initial ask for channel automation. And little did we know, with asking that, we would get so much more back in return. So we've been able to completely move all of our texting over to channel automation. So our nurture flows within our leads, we can now have way more control over our texting, on revamping those flows, on getting user engagement feedback back with analytics, seeing what works and seeing what doesn't work. So that will hopefully in time, improve set rates, right? That's the idea. You can text people as soon as they come through, you'll set faster. We've also been able to do the sales rep reminder photo, which we think is just a great piece of customer experience that we're able to now provide that we weren't providing before, as well as hopefully continuing to add flows, which I know we have some of the works right now, to just continue on with that customer experience base, continuing texting people who maybe don't sell in their appointment, who maybe we just want to communicate with and see if there's anything we can do to make that sale happen, to help them with their bathroom and to get in and get them what they need and get taken care of. So we're able to do that thanks to the automation provided by channel automation. And I think the great thing for us is that hasn't replaced any one person in our workforce, right? Like, this isn't the case of a robot or an AI or whatever coming in and taking somebody else's work and job. It is a tool that our team is able to utilize to help, again, expand our conversations and our connections with potential customers, as well as set, appointments and sold customers and things like that. We're able to go in and have our team fully trained on how to communicate with people, answer questions. We've had examples of people who text us back and say, I have laryngitis. I'm not able to call right now, but I can text you and set an appointment. Or, people who are maybe at work and can't take phone calls, but are more than willing to set an appointment via text message. And that's been a huge value add for us. So I love that it's something that's new that we can bring in that can add value in multiple different ways, but that our team can use as a tool. So no one person is being, replaced or is losing out. They're just able to perform at the best of their ability using this tool.
Very, very nice. And by the way, not a paid sponsor. No, I am really, really glad that we were able to provide the automation for you. And one of the things that you talked about that I really want to hit on is this is something that a lot of our new customers have been kind of concerned about, especially ones that have a really, really large team. And maybe some of the people that are in the marketing department or in the call center, they are more on the old-fashioned side. They are very worried that their team is going to be replaced, or what we are doing is going to be very much like a Skynet situation where it's like, okay, you're going to be completely taken over from doing all of your text messages and replies and everything. It's all going to happen for you. It's like, okay, well, now what do I do? Oh, now you have automated phone calls? Well, what am I going to do? But the thing is, you are in control of your automation. And so what you get to do is, instead of having to make all these manual phone calls and all these manual text messages and stuff, and sit there and try to kind of almost like a cold call. I mean, it's not a cold call because you usually have a lead list and stuff. You can just wait for the person to respond to you and then have your team work on those leads that are live on the line, rather than wasting their time with people who are never going to answer the phone. And that's what our goal is just like people not to waste their time so they can use their time for other things. So in terms of like when you are freeing up more time for your team, right? And so when you have that extra time, it's not like people are sitting around like twiddling their thumbs or anything. What have you guys been able to kind of invest that time in, because the more tedious, mundane, busy work tasks are now being taken care of by automation?
I think for us, again, this is a big value add in the way we can connect to potential customers, people with appointments and things like that our team can talk with directly. So it's not so much as something that's replaced busy work, because they were doing this through other platforms. It's way more streamlined for us now. It's extremely helpful to have everything in one location and in one software, as opposed to having to bounce around to multiple different platforms like we were in the past. So as far as how we use channel automation now, I think that it just helps our team as a unit stay more connected on the same page, especially because we can see what everybody's saying to each other. We can see when somebody left off on a message, and if somebody's off that day, then somebody else can pick back up on the conversation, which is a huge value add to us because we didn't have that previously. We were texting within our phone platform, and so if I'm texting somebody and I'm off the next day and they respond, they would have to wait until I got back in and it was my shift again to respond back. So it's really additional, I don't want to say additional work we're adding to our team, because it's replacing something they were already doing, but it's replacing it in a way that is more streamlined and does free up time for them to focus on other duties that might be assigned to them by our call center manager, or as well as just helping to answer the phones for the rest of the call center, and taking on additional lines, like potentially they can call on some maybe older leads in the system, as opposed to having to, always focus on the newest leads. We can run some old leads and see if we can get some appointments set that way in those flows. So I think we're just able right now to, again, expand upon what we were already doing in a better way that adds value. And we're looking forward into the future, into 2024, looking into the additional products that channel automation offers to see if we can free up some more of that time from them to give them more efficient time management.
Fantastic. Yeah. And that's the goal. And one of the things that people may not realize, like, the service that we're offering is not going to be necessarily one to the other, where it's like, okay, well, now this whole entire system is going to be doing my job for me, and now I can eat chips and just wait, for somebody to come and talk to me. It is one of those things where time and effort has to be invested, because this is a growth-based system. And so as you start to improve, that gives you the opportunity to be like, okay, and now what's next? Whereas, like, maybe you were treading water before and you're like barely able to keep up with that day to day. Now you have a little bit more time to start doing more things that are future forward, which is, helpful for most people. Also,
yeah, exactly. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say exactly. And, to your point, the system takes work. It's not something that you just set and forget and leave alone. I mean, our agents are in there constantly every single day. I'm in there every day, just checking things, making sure everything's working, making sure, there's no glitches or any issues or that my agents are on top of things. So, it definitely takes a dedicated team to look through this, whether you have a manager who's making sure on the back end that everything is going smoothly and helping create the flows and processes with the channel automation team, or it's your, call center team or agents in the system actually talking with people and working on these. It does take dedicated time and work. And I think that the good part about that dedicated time to work is that you can see the direct value reflection that you get out of the tool and out of what you're doing. So you know that it's not just, like you said, like cold calling that might not lead to results and that it's just busy work. It's actual conversations with actual people that you're able to have and foster that customer experience relationship.
So what do you actually see as the biggest bottleneck? Not necessarily what you have going on right now, but in the past, or like what you see maybe with other people that are in the same industry. Where do you think like the issue lies in terms of like the front to back lead? Like you're like converting the lead, contacting the lead, getting the person out there, getting the install happening, and then the sale. Where is the biggest bottleneck happening?
I think that I don't know that there's any one specific bottleneck, right? I think that there's always multiple. For me, something that jumps out, the initial bottleneck, right, is always that initial contact, is always someone's filled out a form, now what, right? Like, how do we jump on that? Their intent was 100% at the time they fill out the form, but that decreases by 10% every minute that passes, every hour that passes, whatever you want to say. So I think a huge part for a lot of companies right now in the home improvement industry, and in a lot of industries, honestly, is someone says intent, they fill out a form, they're interested. Now what, right? How do you nurture that lead? How do you drive that intent and strike while the iron's hot, as they say? So that's a pretty big bottleneck at the very beginning of a lead generation relationship, right? Like, right there off the bat, if you're not texting people immediately, if you're not sending things out immediately, what does your intent look like? And then, furthering that nurture program and seeing if you can, maybe bring the intent back, get the intent higher to set an appointment. Another bottleneck that I see happening a lot that we're trying to, focus on finding the what's the solution to fix this that we're always talking about. And again, this is, I think, really big in the home improvement industry, is cancellation rates. So, you set an appointment. How do you prevent that appointment from canceling? What's the best way to prevent that appointment from issuing and then canceling after it issues? I think cancellation rate is another big bottleneck. And again, it goes back to that intent, right? Like, how high intent is this lead? If they set out, for 2 weeks, that's probably going to be a lower intent than if they set a same day, right? So how do we focus that? And I think that's an age-old question. And I don't know that anyone's ever going to have the answer to that. I do know that our call center manager and the call center team is doing an amazing job right now. They've just set some great new records with our call center for appointment sets and for improving, our same day and next day rates. So I think just having a really great team, a really great leadership team behind that team to support them and help that grow and set those records is really what's going to improve things like your cancellation rate. So then we go back to the first bottleneck, the lead nurture rate, your high intent. And so I think really what it comes down to is, how do you solve that problem when everybody else is also racing to be the first person to contact and to strike while the iron's hot? How do you stand out among that crowd and come out on top?
So how do you, Sidney? Well,
we got the answers, because if I did, I might. I don't know. I would probably be a wizard. I'd be like, Forbes's like top marketing, professional of this era, right? If I knew all those answers. And I don't think anyone probably ever will. I think it's a big combination of efforts among teams and ideas, new software and technology that comes through, and taking advantage of the new software and technology that comes through, not being afraid of that change. And so for us, that one of the answers that we were hoping to have was channel automation. And like I said, so far, I think that it's been a really great tool for us, and it's really changed a lot of our procedures and helped out a lot of with those bottlenecks. So we're excited to hopefully continue that, and maybe that's the magic answer. I'm not exactly
I don't think
sure.
there's any magic answer. I was actually more just kind of asking your opinion on it, because a lot of people, they have some strong opinions. There are people who will come over to you, look into your eyes and say, listen, this is the solution for getting leads. They will not ever cancel. Number one goal is, that 1 day stay. As soon as someone gets into the house, they have to sell that appointment, and that's it. And if they don't sell the appointment when they're in there, it's never going to happen. Or they're like trying to be like, okay, as soon as you get on the phone, you have to convert. And if they don't change over to that appointment, then they're never going to sell. And I think that having that definite mindset is where a lot of people fall short, because the world doesn't act definitely. It's just every person is different. And one of the things that we're approaching as sort of a younger group in the industry is we are now catering to people our age, age being, I'm going to just vaguely say somewhere between late 20s, early 40s. But we are now having a whole entire new audience that we have to make a new, what's the word? A new strategy for. Strategy is an easy word, but I just couldn't think of it. But it's just different people like different things. And I think being able to contact people in the way that they want to be contacted, I know I say this all the time on the podcast, is the most important tool, because if someone can't answer the phone while they're working, now almost everybody text messages, Or if somebody is, like you said, laryngitis, which I know that's like an extreme example, but I love it. Somebody doesn't want to talk on the phone. Maybe they're like watching TV with their family, or they're like, I don't even want to like broach this until we're more investigated into like what the cost is going to be. They have that opportunity to kind of have that private conversation, investigate, so that way when they're talking about it to the rest of the family, they're like, hey, listen, I already looked this up. I know that we've needed a new bathroom area, like if there's something going on in there and it needs to be fixed. This is all the evidence that I already have that this is going to be the best way to go. And I think that, maybe that's how I approach things. But I think that having that lower threshold of entry into getting that initial conversation is so important. I think that's what you were pretty much touching on as well. So what?
Yeah, absolutely. I just to say on your point, I don't think there's any one solution. And not to say that I agree or disagree with anyone else's opinion necessarily of, a definite, if you don't have this, it's not going to work, or XYZ. I think it takes a whole village, right? Like, we have an amazing sales team and sales trainers. We have an amazing call center team and call center manager and trainers. And then we have our marketing team. And I don't want to toot my own horn and say I'm amazing. But that seems a little far-fetched. But thanks, Casey. But everybody that works at Bath Experts in general is amazing, and everybody really does their part to see how can we be better. And so our sales team, in partnership with our call center team and with marketing, we're always trying to answer that question. And we always have different approaches and different answers, and we're always willing to try new things. And I think that's really what is going to make your program successful, is having that open mindset of, well, this didn't work, so let's try something different. Or, hey, somebody said that they're trying this. That sounds neat. Let's try it and see what happens. Because the world is changing constantly. And as you said, there's a new generation, a new age group that is going to be starting to come into the target audience. And they like to be contacted differently than potentially any other generation that has come before. So how do you, again, cater to that? I think being open-minded is the best way to kind of approach that subject.
So one of the things that you have hit on a ton during the podcast, I know we're going to be kind of wrapping it up soon, is you have mentioned how awesome and amazing your team is for every single part of your team, which I know that is something that our listeners are seeking out desperately. They're like, how can I tell when somebody is going to be amazing? How long does it take for somebody to be amazing? And is there something that I can do to make somebody who might not be there yet, like, empower them to grow to be better? Do you have any thoughts on that?
I think everybody, every single person that exists has the ability to be amazing at their own thing, whatever that is, whether it's, work or a personal hobby or whatever. Anybody can be amazing at anything that they choose to be amazing at. I think in the workplace in general, really comes down to your leadership team, and the culture surrounding your workplace, really. Our culture, I would say, is very unique at Bath Experts. It's very employee forward, employee centric. Everybody there that I know, it's a cliche, but I genuinely believe that everybody there loves coming to work every day. I usually do. Everybody's got their days, right? Everybody doesn't feel well, or you woke up on the wrong side of the bed. But at the end of the day, there's always someone there, around the corner, peeking over your cubicle, being like, hey, you all right? You feeling good today? And cheering you up, and maybe they get you a little snack or something like that. They bring you a snack from the kitchen, and they're like, hi, I know you like this. And so there's always someone there to make your day. So I think that the culture and what you set out for that culture to be is extremely important in fostering your employees and making them amazing. And then a huge other part is your leadership and your management style. And at Bath Experts, we're very open and collaborative. We're very cross-departmental. Everybody works together. There's not necessarily like a corporate chain of like command, like you have to go to this person and go to this person. Like everybody's just open, and everybody asks each other for help on things and says, hey, I have this idea. Let's workshop it. And everybody, all of the managers there that I know, allow their employees to really focus on what they love doing and what they're good at doing, and allows them to be almost independent in a way. You're like, you know what, you like doing that? Okay, we'll go out and do it. And you do what makes you feel amazing, because I know that you're amazing at it. And so I think that's really it, is just fostering great relationships in your workplace, fostering a great culture of support, and within your individual like employees and direct reports, just constantly making sure everybody feels supported, connected with each other, engaged with each other. If there's issues, don't see it as this person's making mistakes, this person's having issues, but more as an opportunity to retrain, or an opportunity for coaching, an opportunity to check in. And I think that's really what makes the difference between really allowing somebody to shine and to take control over being the best at what they can do.
I agree completely. And I think culture is a major part of that. And especially when I know that it's really difficult to accomplish this when you're like a massive company where it's like, the top of the company is talking to people from like, the entry level positions. But to a certain point, you don't even need to necessarily talk to them or like engage with them every day and be like, how you doing? As long as you have the culture, your managers will pick up on that for you. The supervisors will pick up on it from the managers or the directors, and it'll trickle down. Everybody will have a better attitude, which makes it so that your entry-level people who may have like a higher turnover in like the call center or the sales positions also feel like, okay, I'm accepted here. My thoughts are being heard. It's kind of like when you think about animals, you have to have like, I know I'm an anthropology major, so don't take any of this like literally, okay? But when you think about animal behavior, something that humans have in common is enrichment. So you can't just have somebody go to work every single day and do the exact same thing forever, indefinitely, for years and years and years, because they actually will get bored. Regardless of where you think their intelligent level is at, you have to be enriching and giving them some opportunity to grow and get better. And they may be complaining, saying like, oh man, do you really think I can do that? I don't know, man. That doesn't seem like it's up my alley. But when you have them and encourage them to power through it, I'm telling you, like, some of the best people I've met have come out of situations like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do a lot of promoting from within. We have people who move from teams. I don't want to say all the time because that sounds negative, but like if someone's interested in moving to a team and there's a position that is open or that needs to be filled, as long as it works out with everybody and no team is going to be shorted because of it, our answer is always absolutely. Like, you want to try something else, and we know you're going to excel at it because you already are excelling at X, Y, and Z. Go for it. Go unlock your potential. And as long as we have these people working for us and they have the same drive and passion that we all share, it doesn't really matter what team you're on at the end of the day, because we all have the same goal. We all just want to do our best every day and help Bath Experts become a leading home improvement industry company and help our customers and support each other. And that's really the end of the day what it's all about.
I think that's a good way to close. But the one thing I did want to ask, because I like throwing a little bit of spice into the conversation. When it comes to having this kind of culture that is open and accepting, because this is going to be something that people from the previous generation is going to have questions on. where is it that you draw the line where you're like, this person is just not going to work and I can tell they're not going to work? What are some of those characteristics?
That's an interesting question. I don't fully know that I am qualified to answer that. As of this point, I don't have any direct reports yet. We are still growing on our other departments, like our sales team, install, call center, customer experience, are extremely important to us and valued as we grow. So those teams are growing a little bit faster than our internal marketing team, and that is A-okay because we will get there. So as of right now, again, I don't have any direct reports. It's just me and the director of marketing, and we're just a fun little team of two. And we have a great time. So I don't want to speak on behalf of any of the other managers there, but I do know that we do our best to, again, see what everybody's capabilities are and see where they might fit better. If potentially they're not working out in their role, I know that they would do their best. Again, we're very employee-centric to see how can we help you succeed otherwise in other roles potentially. And how can we make sure that, maybe this just isn't the right fit for you. Maybe this position would be a better fit for you. So I think it's, again, just about that flexibility and being open and just honestly communicating and sitting down and saying, hey, look, we can see this isn't working. What do you like? What do you not like? What do you think you'd be better at? And seeing if maybe that person would work better somewhere else. So again, it's just fostering individuals and communicating with them. And I think sometimes, realistically, it doesn't always work. Sometimes you might have those conversations and you might just realize that, well, maybe this isn't your calling. Maybe something else is better suited for you. And I know we've had to have those conversations in the past with people. And that's just part of life. And it just is what it is. But again, coming at it with that positive attitude of how can we make you happy? And if that's not here, then how can we help in your journey to find somewhere that does make you happy? How can we leave on good footing and a good ending to make sure that you're going to excel wherever you are?
I love the positivity. That's good. No, I mean it, because like there are the days where sometimes I'm talking to people and I'm just like, I do not understand why you're doing what you're doing. And so it's refreshing to hear somebody that's like, no, there is something there. I can find something in somebody that's going to be good. I just got to dig deeper. And I think that that's extremely important, to invest time in somebody, because otherwise they're not going to be interested in investing time in the company. And so sometimes you do have to have those tough conversations. That's it for us today. So whether you love or hate what we talked about, we do want to hear from you. So comment or shoot us an email at hello@channelautomation.com. Also, please consider subscribing to our podcast. We've got awesome industry experts that come in very frequently, just like Sidney. And you can get some tips and tricks for how to keep your lead conversion high and how to best engage your call center and your marketing team. So as always, keep your leads going and keep your conversion high. Thanks.